everyone. Welcome back to the Learning Curve with Ramya Deepak. This is episode 3. Here, we explore the world of education and the challenges and victories that come with it. For the first 2 episodes, I was really privileged as I could chat with some exceptional women leaders and discuss the challenges women face in the field of educational leadership. I'm delighted that I can continue my honor today, speaking to outstanding women leaders, as today we are privileged to have with us a founding principal of a new school who will share with us their journey of setting up a school from scratch and her experiences. Honey is the founding principal of Nari Primary School in the city of Wyndham on the western fringes of Melbourne. With over 20 years experience in education, Honey started her journey as an educational aide and has climbed the ladders through her sheer determination, efforts, and passion. Honey is passionate about providing an outstanding education for all students with a strong focus on high academic achievement, improving the well-being of every child, and building strong parent and carer community connections. She has lived and worked in the area for most of her career in a range of schools with diverse backgrounds. It was no surprise to me when she was announced as the foundation principal of a new school in the city of Wyndham. It takes a great deal of courage, vision, and determination to undertake such an endeavor. And Honey exemplifies all of these. So without further ado, let's dive in and welcome Honey to the show. Welcome, Honey.
Thank you. What an introduction. That's great. Thank you.
Let's just start. I just want you to talk a little bit about your leadership journey and what inspired you or what motivated you to take this particular role.
Sure. I think I've been really, really fortunate in my career, really, to sit under and sit alongside some exceptional leaders. And I think during that time, I was able to see exactly what kind of leader I wanted to become, but it also made it really clear what kind of leader I didn't want to be as well. You can work alongside people and just go, it doesn't quite fit with me. But I think, one, I had to search myself and understand my values and what I stood for as a person, and then really try to find an alignment there in terms of understanding my leadership style and understanding myself as a leader and really developing myself as a leader. And I did that by working alongside others and seeing their attributes as a leader and key things that I felt would make me a more effective leader, but they also had to align with my values. I think that's probably really key to my leadership. Understanding my leadership strength, and then being able to plant my flag and really understanding, like, this is me, this is what I stand for as a leader. People understanding that as well, so really being really transparent and authentic in the way that I lead. And I think once you understand yourself as a leader and you have that real grounding, then when crisis comes in or infiltrates in many different ways, you really can't be shaken or rattled because you know what you stand for. It's really solid as a leader. And so going into being a principal of a new school just was exciting. I just thought, why not? Where's the next step after being a principal of a well-established school? And you go in and you almost have to flip it and do lots of other stuff. To be able to go into a brand new school and say, clean slate, it's pretty exciting.
That's true. And I was just wondering so when you first got selected as the principal, what was the kind of initial work like with the department and the stakeholders, initial stakeholders, to create a school that meets the needs of the community?
I would say starting a new school, because it was just me, I was the only one. There were times I actually described it as being like back in lockdown. I felt quite isolated. I was planted in another school, so I was like sort of positioned in another school. But a lot of the initial stuff is creating policies and, it's just stuff that you sit behind a computer and the doing stuff. The department offered amazing online teams that you could tap into, and so you did a lot of online video. There wasn't a lot of one-to-one contact. So initially it was kind of lonely, to be honest. I would actually go into my base school just to have some human contact. Otherwise, I felt I worked a lot better at home, just getting all those busy little things done. But initially it was really around having a really strong team around curriculum and around setting up, registering a brand new school. So they provided all of the human resources around that, which was really good. In terms of stakeholders, major stakeholders, that was really me going out into the community and saying, I know I need a school council. I need to find out who's out there in my community. And so I just sort of really hit the ground. Went up to the local supermarkets and had a little station there and went into kinders and really just started to tap into the community. We got these little flyers made, which were really quite cute, with our name and introducing us. And, I just got my kids and we just walked the streets and put them in newsletter, in letter boxes and things like that.
Yeah, I can imagine you doing all that. You would have been so good at
It
all
was,
of that.
it was crazy busy.
So at what,
Exciting, but
so at what point do you start recruiting and you start looking for other people to join in your journey?
it's straight away in terms of recruitment.
Yeah.
I needed a business manager. I needed someone alongside me to do the recruitment stuff because you end up doing a lot of the stuff that you've never done before because your business managers have always done it. So you pretty much start straight away. You have an idea of how many kids you might have, but it's really just a juggling kind of a game. Business manager, assistant principal, they were first up. And getting a small team around me was really important. I guess the beauty in that was really being able to recruit culture. I had an idea of the kind of culture I wanted to build in the school, and I found it really important to recruit to that culture. And those key questions, interview questions, and recruiting that way became really critical. And having a strong team around you to build the school.
Yes. And I guess you would have used the same lens, that same cultural lens when you did the other recruitments for other staff and everything like that.
100%, 100%. There was, little things that I had to have a little bit of me in there, and I can be a bit left of centre sort of thing. So I wanted them to, bring an artefact that represented something that was really important to them. I wanted to, get to know them on a more personal level, not just here's these really, diving deep into these questions, but I wanted something that was a bit personal. I wanted to know them as a person. Gave them some sort of not tricky blind questions because I'm not really into tricking people either, but I wanted a question that off the bat that if it couldn't just come fresh out of their mouth, then they're really having to think about it. I questioned that sometimes, I think they weren't hard questions. They were just something as simple as Wainari Primary School.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I just want to know why. Why did you apply for the school? So it was about recruiting to culture and really looking at the people and going, could I see my children being taught by these children and by these teachers, and would I be excited by that?
Yeah.
Do I want my children to be in the school and be led by leaders like these people? So I looked for different kind of attributes that I think are really valuable for our children.
Yeah. And I think you hit the nail on the head because it's sometimes those simple but those personal, or not personal questions, but those very foundational questions that are so important, isn't it? Because the theory, the other stuff that people can
Of
start
course.
jargon off,
Of
that
course.
doesn't, that cannot, these, it does not need to be different for people to
No.
people. But it's those very basic questions, why Nari, why teaching, or why though? That's where people's real passion comes out.
Yeah, and I think it's important to really hear from people when you hear someone, I always remember this one. I said, Wainari Primary School, and the simple response was, well, why not?
Yeah.
Look who is leading the school. I have read about you, heard about you. Okay, so it boosted my ego, don't get me wrong, it did. But she could actually tell me key things of the reason why she chose that school over some of the other new schools. And I was key in that, and that made me feel really proud. Did she get a job? Of course she did. No. It's those little things that make you something simple to say, why Nari, why not? And be able to elaborate a little bit more.
But for a person to say that in an interview also shows that they align with the values that you bring to the school.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, being honest there, you also probably understand that they will be able to challenge you if needed as well. So because we don't want a list of yesayers all the time with us.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we want people who are aligned with a vision, but at the same time are bringing that value as well.
I agree. And I know that when people start up new schools, they generally, want to build a team of people around them that already kind of know them. So they're looking for, perhaps people they've worked with before. Whereas I went in with a different kind of a lens. I went in to say, I need someone new. I need someone who's going to come in and go, challenge me in my leadership. Like you said, I don't need yes people. I need someone to actually say, that's a great idea, honey, but have you thought about this? And so I employed my first AP. I'd never met him, never worked with him before. and I don't regret that at all. I think I felt like I still had lots to offer someone
Yeah,
and build their capacity, but I also wanted to learn from someone else too.
absolutely.
Just have people that I already have mentored, have had under me in terms of leadership, wanted
Yeah,
something new, something fresh.
yeah. So when it came to the deciding the vision for the school or the mission statement and things like that, how did you, because I know when in your previous school, and I was a part of it, when we remember we redesigned our mission vision and we
Mm-hmm.
did lots of community consultations and things like
Yep.
that. So was there some sort of similar process here in terms of vision and building the community for their ideas and thoughts and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I would really love to say that yes, there is, but to be honest,
Mm,
initially when you are registering a school, you have to put something in there, anything, and
mm,
you don't have a community at that point. So I think a lot of it came down to me understanding the community. So I came out to my community. I know this community really well anyway,
mm,
and understanding the different cultures that are within the community. Really speaking to Aboriginal, making those Aboriginal connections too here to around the land, and
yeah.
then just designing a very broad kind of vision statement
Mm,
that could be molded and shaped later on through consultation. So initially, it's pretty much my wording,
mm,
but it was always communicated out that this is it initially. But as a community, we will
right.
do a full consultation process. Now, in terms of the values and that we had a school council and we designed a lot of that around the values because that came a little bit later. Um, Consultation is key to anything. That's how you're going to get stakeholders on board and everything that you put in place, your vision, your values, become living, breathing elements of your school when you
Yeah,
have that consultation process. It's
absolutely.
key.
Yeah.
Mm.
So let's come to the most important part of your school right now, the students.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about your students.
Oh, we had day one, we had the first day we opened, we had the whole department out here, we had cameras, we had everything.
Yeah.
I don't know why they picked my school, but they did. And so I didn't really know what to expect day one.
Mm,
Never met the kids before. Well, we did actually have a barbecue prior, but it was during the holiday, the big break. So, we didn't have everybody here. But I couldn't wait to see the uniform, walk through that gate. I couldn't wait to see their smiles on their faces and just do the meet and greets and
mm,
that.
mm,
But the students here are just beautiful. And I know that I can say that because I'm the principal, but those values that we came up with, I, they're just not hard to implement because these kids just ooze, this respect and integrity, and
mm.
they're so determined to learn and excel in what they're doing. So, inspiration starts here was mine. I actually was going to put it in my other school, and then I thought, no, I'm actually going to take it to another school when I go somewhere. I love that. And the kids say it all the time. Inspiration starts within. Inspiration starts here at Nari Primary School.
Oh, that's so
Uh,
sweet.
yeah, so they're beautiful kids. We currently have we're up to 300 at
Okay.
the moment. So we started with 212, I think, and we're already at 300. So we will climb very
Yeah.
quickly out this way.
Yeah. No. It seems like I have to visit your school to see all those beautiful kids and all this
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Um, so how have you found working with the staff now in terms of their collaboration and them coming together as a new team? Obviously, has there been any major teething issues you have found or anything for them?
But, I think every day is a new day. Every day in the first term was a new day. We were learning something new. We were like, oh, we didn't think about that. We didn't do this. But I guess when you employ into a new school, and I guess even when you apply as a teacher, it's going to come with those kind of teething problems. And we've done a survey with our staff already just to get some feedback on our leadership and how we can improve our leadership, but also are we working on the right stuff? Because it's not us that are implementing it, it's our
Yeah.
teachers. They're on the ground, they're doing the hard work.
Mm,
And the feedback has been really positive in terms of like we're working on the right stuff. We haven't given them too much. We haven't overloaded them.
yeah.
But when you think about a brand new school, what are the key elements that need to be in place? You're talking about an instructional model, you're talking about PLCs, and you've got all these different teachers coming from different schools, different ideas, graduates, never taught before in their life, teachers that have taught for 30 years and think they know everything. And so you've got to bring them together, and that true culture of collaboration that true culture of developing that relational trust with your staff from the outset is key to making sure that we get all of those fundamental things right. And so I think in terms of PLCs, we've got this real, true, authentic collaboration happening, which I'm excited about because it has my previous school. It took some time to get that off the ground, and it's still a work in progress. But I think we've got the right stuff in place for now, but we're building something every week, getting it ready. And you have to be really mindful about how timely you push things out
Yeah.
and not to overload. Like you see these little things that need immediate attention, like, you need to have your values in place. You need to have a, behaviour roadmap so everyone knows where they're moving, consistent approach, but you can't overload as well. You've got to be really mindful of that timeliness of release of information and how you're going to push things out.
Yeah, I get your point, especially when, when you talk about people coming in with lots of different experiences. I mean, graduates are coming in to learn, so they are probably learning whatever you put out for them. But then there are people who are coming in with different experiences and they have to unlearn something before they learn. And that's a very hard thing to do. So, and you're trying to set a new school, you're trying to set up some new policies and new procedures. And so it's just bringing it all together and then still having some kind of a collaborative culture, but also then proceeding with day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think too, another key element is taking your staff on the journey from the outset.
Yeah.
Here is our, staff induction folder and here are key things, but only putting the essential stuff in there. Sometimes we overload it with, this is how our reading instructional model looks in this one and that one. There's so many elements to it, but I just think, what do they need right now to get them through the first 4 weeks? Let's just give them that. And then, saying to staff, here's our instructional model. Give us some feedback. What do you think? Okay, do that process really quick and then put one out and say, right, this is what we're going to go with. But I think that's how you get them on the journey, is you take them with you. Some stuff you have to say this is absolute 100, can't be swayed on that one. But if there's a consultative process, if you can consult.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I just want to know, at the end of this year, first full year for NARI, what is it that is there a certain point you will see or a result that you see that you think you have had a successful year, or is there something you think that, of course we are growing and learning every single day, but do you have a vision in your mind or an end point in your mind for the end of the year?
Yeah, I think there's key elements here. It's one about my community. My staff are really important to me, and their well-being is really important. So there's elements along the way that I feel, as the principal, I need to make sure I've got my finger on the pulse all the way along. I shouldn't get to the end of the year and go, oh, we haven't made results, we haven't improved outcomes, my staff are all wanting to apply out. So each term, it's about having almost your own internal school attitude to school. Let's find out how our kids are going, travelling, around their wellbeing. In terms of academics for our students, they come in, we have no data. And you don't want to spend the first 4 or 5 weeks just assessing, and being really strategic about how we approach that. For me, it was really important that our staff really get to know our children on a not just on a academic level, but we wanted to, I said, find out what they do in the week. What are their hobbies? What do they like to do? And some of the staff were like, really? Should we? And I said, yeah, let's get to really know our students. And then we've been very strategic about how we roll out assessments and getting that data in. So now we have PAT data. We've got something to measure, but all the way along, it's not just about the academics. It's about the wellbeing of our kids. These children here are never going to learn a thing from their teacher if I'm not taking care of their teacher. So I place a real high value on that. And then, of course, it's my community and drawing them in as often as I can. I will draw in the community to community events. I meet and greet them every morning, every afternoon. Friday afternoons, I put music on, I dance everybody out of the school, and, I just feel I want to know that my community are happy with what we are doing as well. So, I have information evenings and invite parents in, and whole school assembly. I tell you, my entire gymnasium was just about packed full of parents. I've never seen so many in my life. But it tells me something, that this community genuinely care about the education of their children,
Yeah.
but also showing up for them
Yeah.
and saying, I'm here. Sorry.
That's okay. Mhm.
So, just showing up for them, I think that's really important too. So all the way along, there'll be these, targets that we're aiming for. Term 1, term 2, what's happening? Why aren't we meeting these targets? What do we need to do? What interventions need to be put in place? At the moment, I'm sort of running some intervention as well, because when you're starting a new school, you don't always have all the staff to do everything. Sometimes I have to go and do PE, and I love it. And I'm not looking forward to losing that element as we grow,
Yeah.
but I'm mindful that we probably will.
Will do. Yeah. Oh, honey, it's already been 20 minutes and time
Yeah,
flies when we are having fun and
I know.
chatting with each other. But when you say about certain things that you talk about, like, knowing your staff and being into classrooms and dancing with the students on Friday, I mean, it just reminds me of the a time I had with you, working with you. And even now, when I do, like today, we had cross country at our school, and when I was dancing with some of the kids,
Yeah,
you were in my mind. I was like, this is what honey does. So,
yeah,
those are the things, those are the connections we value, and those are the
yeah,
connections we take forward. So I think it's absolutely important, and I have no doubt that come the end of the year, every single person at Nari Primary School, every student, every staff will be proud of the way the school has had its first year. Will be proud of the way they have, faced challenges, had successes, and have grown at the end of the
yeah.
year. Doesn't matter they have grown, how much they have grown, but they have grown,
Yeah,
and they
I
have learned.
agree. And I think that's, it's not about waving my flag and saying, oh, look how wonderful I am as a leader, because I'm as only as good as how happy my kids are, how well
Yes,
they're learning. I think a key part of being any leader in any industry, doesn't matter what you are, don't ever forget where you came from and where it all started for you.
yes,
I've never
yes.
forgotten that I was a passionate, still am, classroom teacher.
Mm,
And that as a leader, if I never forget that, then I'll always put those children first. They will
yes,
always be centre of my focus, and they are our core business. And then making sure that you put those wraparound supports in place so that you can grow them and nurture them to wherever it is that they need to be, and however far they want to grow. So, yep, I still teach hip hop at lunchtimes, and I do a singing group. So I just think it's about be authentic, be real, be transparent with your community, your students, and don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and be a
yeah.
true, authentic leader. That's who you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love it, honey. Love you. Can't be more proud
So
of you. And I'm so thankful, so thankful that you agreed to come and have a chat with me.
I appreciate it very much.
That's the episode 3 for today, everyone. Of course, when I post it, it will take a couple of days for me to edit and post it. So when I do post it, I would love to see your comments on all the social media channels. So thank you, honey, and thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. I'll see you in the next episode.
Okay.